WIkiCamps. It's the go-to trip planning and site searching app for many of us. I've done a few videos on the latest WIkiCamps release now. Initially, I was frustrated and disappointed, but having played around with it for a few weeks, I found one particular feature that I'm loving, and that's the WIkiCamps filters. Hi, it's Andrew here from Nomads Unplugged, where we help campers, caravanners, grey nomads and big lappers with trips, tips, tools, toys, and particularly tech. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. Today, we're going to continue the series on WIkiCamps, focusing on finding the perfect locations in WIkiCamps through the use of filters. In this video, I'll explain how to use WIkiCamps filters and go through the idiosyncrasies of their filter, and there are a few you need to be aware of. I'll call out a number of tips to ensure you're getting the best out of the filtered search and to help you avoid frustration. I'm also going to create and save 11 filters that will help us find the best sites on WIkiCamps. My favourite is number 10, and I think a lot of you will like this one too, so stick around. But if you do want to skip ahead at any time or search for a solution to a problem you are experiencing, just use the chapters below. And as always, if you're finding this series on WIkiCamps and camping and caravanning /RV apps helpful, please like and subscribe. Finally, if there are other related topics you'd like covered, please leave a comment below and I'll see what. But now, WIkiCamps filters, the secret to finding locations that suit you perfectly. WIkiCamps filters are a great way to help with your trip planning, finding sites of interest, or even finding your next night's accommodation. But before we start creating filters, here's some basic instructions and a few tips. To use the filter function, you need to click on this icon at the top right of your screen, shown here for an iPad user or here for an Android. If a filter has been applied to your current view, let me just apply a filter. A small red dot will show on top of the filter icon. So you'll see this small red dot up there. To disable all filters, go into the filters, click Reset Filters, and then Show Results. And that Show Results is critical. You do need to click on that to reset everything. Most filters will work in offline mode. The one that doesn't is your collection. So if I apply a filter for my liked sites, show the results on this map, there is just the one, Point Leo. Now, if I was to go offline, so I do that by going into Menu, then sliding across this offline mode, and then come back into Explore, you'll see that that site over here between Shoreham and Flinders, which is Point Leo, is no longer showing. However, if I reset my filters and if I was to apply one of the standard saved filters, water filling, then those sites do show. So just something to be aware of. Having said that, I definitely recommend you work in online mode. If I change this map, for example, well, it doesn't show it there, but in offline mode it is much slower to refresh the screens than it is in online mode. So to go back to online mode, we just click on Menu and then flip that switch again. And we go back into Explore, you'll see that we're back in online mode. Another tip, saved filters are saved locally on your device. Therefore, a filter you save on one device will not be available on another. So these last four here that I have saved, created and saved on this iPad, if I now switch over to my Android, go into my saved filters, you'll see that there is no listing of free and donation, dog friendly, overnight options, things to see or do, or rest and refill. They are not there. If I then create a filter on my Android and save it, and then go back into the iPad, click into Save Filters, you'll see that that new filter I've just created is not listed. So they are device specific. Tip number 5. Filters are not always going to show you the results that you might expect. They're dependent on the quality of the data that we, the WIkiCamps community, have entered. For example, if I go in and I am looking for sites with camp kitchens, so I click on Camp Kitchens, done, show results. You'll see on this map that I have this one site over here, just near Venus Bay in Victoria, which is a boat ramp. Now, I don't expect to have a boat ramp to have a camp kitchen. If you click in here, read the reviews, what you realise is there's a nice fish cleaning table at this site. Excellent fish cleaning tables. So whoever has created this site in WikiCamps has decided that a fish cleaning table is the equivalent of a camp kitchen. Probably not what you'd expect. Tip number 6. The warnings and limitations site features allow you to exclude sites. They do not, however, allow you to specifically include sites. So you can't show only those sites that require four-wheel drive access only, or that require self-contained vehicles only, or that are for 50-year-olds and older, or that are nudist sites. So if you're a mad keen nudist, you cannot just get a map view of all the nudist sites in WikiCamps. Alright, tip 7. This is the last one, and this is a doozy. Filters are not always going to show you the results you may expect. Part 2. The logic being used in WikiCamps is a combination of and logic and of or logic. This is an important distinction. Imagine you have two conditions. Condition 1, it is raining, and condition 1 can be true or false. Condition 2, you have an umbrella. Again, this condition can be true or false. If you apply or logic, you will go outside if it is raining or if you have an umbrella. This means you will go outside if either one of the conditions is true or if both are true. So you may get wet because you've gone outside because it's raining but you don't have an umbrella, or you may look foolish standing outside with an umbrella when it's not raining. Equally, there are scenarios where you would go outside with an umbrella in the rain. If you apply and logic, you will only go outside if it is raining and you have an umbrella. This means you will only go outside if both conditions are true at the same time. In summary, or logic requires at least one condition to be true, and logic requires all conditions to be true. WikiCamps applies all logic to fee category, so if something's free or donation, they will both show in that search. They apply it to site type, so if I had only campground and caravan parks clicked on, it would show sites that are campgrounds or caravan parks. Affiliations, it will show sites that are Aspen parks, family parks, or Ingenia holidays, or NRMA parks. Warnings and limitations, so you can include more than one exclusion, etc. But the interesting thing is that these four in the middle, access, amenities, activities and location, and services and connectivity, are done on an and basis. So if you click on a few things in here, you'll only show sites that have non-drinking water and barbecues and tables and drink fountain. So as to show those results, that combination shows you that there's nothing. So let's go through an example combining both or and logic. Firstly, I'll reset my filters, click on show results. Let's say I'm a caravaner who is happy to stay in campsites or caravan parks, enjoys hiking and cycling, and is planning a trip to Gippsland in Victoria's East, and I want to stay in the one spot for 5 nights. In Explore View, I move my map to show Gippsland. I click on Filter, and then select site types campground and caravan park by deselecting all other site types. I scroll down, and under Activities and Locations, I select walking tracks and cycling tracks, and done. And click on Show Results. So as you'll see, there are 13 sites in this map area. They are all campgrounds or caravan parks, and if I was to click into any of them, you'll see that they have both walking tracks and cycling tracks. Now remember, I had one other condition, and that's that I want to stay in the one spot for 5 nights. So let me go back into the filter. Then under Warnings and Limitations, I select Exclude 72-hour limit because I want to stay for longer than 72 hours. Click on that, done, click on Show Results. There's now 12 sites in the map area. But what's wrong with this result? Well, there are 2 issues here. Firstly, by only selecting 72-hour sites, I've retained sites that may have a 24 or 48-hour limit. The way the logic's applied in WikiCamps is just because I've excluded sites with a 72-hour limit, it's ignored those that might have a 48-hour or 24-hour limit. And obviously 72 hours is much greater than 48 and 24, and those sites should also be excluded. So I need to select those, click on Done, and Show Results. You see now that my available sites has dropped to 11. That's one problem. The other one regards one of the end choices. What if I'm happy to cycle or walk? I don't have to do both at every site. Because of the logic, it's only showing me sites that are camping or caravanning sites and that have both a cycling track and walking tracks and are not limited to 24, 48 or 72 hour stays. So if I remove the cycling track filter, click on that, done, show results, I have many more options. In fact, I have 39 sites in the map area. Repeating the above, but replacing walking tracks with cycling tracks, and I get 13 sites. So what we have here is basically a Venn diagram where we have sites with cycling tracks, sites with walking tracks, and the vast majority of the sites with cycling tracks also have walking tracks, but there are a couple of sites with cycling tracks that don't have walking tracks. There's no way around this shortcoming. It is one of the end rules. So if you've applied filters and are seeing less sites than you were expecting, you may have applied and search criteria that is limiting the found sites. So for example, if I go in here and say that a site needs to have a car wash, show results, look, no results found in this map area. The last thing I want to do before we start creating our own save filters is to show you just how you can delete existing save filters. So I've set up some save filters in here and I'm going to recreate them as part of this process. So I just go to the save filter and then click on delete. It's that easy. Alright, well that's a fairly comprehensive introduction to filters and how they are used by WIkiCamps. What we're going to do now is create and save 11 different filters. I will go through the process for each of those 11 filters so that you can follow along and save them yourself if you want. If a filter is not of interest to you, just skip ahead to the next one. Let's start simple. The first filter I want to set up is just a favourite filter. So I'll click into filters. But before I do this, I want to show you another bug in WIkiCamps because they're now amusing me. If I go into save filters, you see that there's one here called My Favourites. If I click on that, they're not my favourites. Just so you know, I only have 4 favourites. A filter is being applied. I've got the little red spot over the filter icon. So if I go in there and I try and see what filters have been set, scroll down, there's nothing selected against any of these filters, nothing by location or anything. So I believe this is a bug. I believe the saved filter of My Favourites actually does not do anything. So I'm going to delete that. And now I'm going to create my own favourites. And what I do is I just clicked on the liked button. This liked button is the equivalent to what was favourites in the previous version of WIkiCamps. So liked and show results. And you'll see that I mentioned I have 4 favourites and there are my 4 favourites. Now, if I go back into the filters, I scroll down on the apply filters, click on save filters. I then give it a name. Click on View Save Filter, and there it is at the bottom. Now, just to confirm that it is working, I'm going to reset my filters, show results. You'll see there's no little red dot, and I have all these sites showing. Go back in, Save Filters, My Favourites, and look, works perfectly. Love it when a plan comes together. All right, let's create our second filter. Again, a single variable filter, so fairly simple. I'm going to go into Filters, I will reset the filters, and then I'm going to scroll down into Access and click Wheelchair Accessible. Done. Show results. All of these sites will be wheelchair accessible. So let me just click on one to show you, and you'll see it's wheelchair accessible. I'll click on one more just to confirm. Wheelchair accessible. Okay, that's great. Close that. Go back into filters, scroll down. And there it is. It's that easy. All right, show results. Filter 3, we're going to start using some multiple OR filters. So I'll click into filters. I will reset the filters before I do this. And what I want to do is a very simple one. I want to just select campgrounds and caravan parks. To do that, I have to deselect. And there it is. So that's our third filter. All right, so that was save filter number 10. Now save filter number 11 for the fishermen and women. So what I want to do now is make sure that our campgrounds and caravan parks exclude temporarily or permanently closed sites, but also exclude nudist sites because I'm a bit shy. Let's save that filter. Done. Okay, let's add one more criteria to that search. Let's say I'm a nervous driver and I prefer pull-through bays, so I'm just going to add pull-through bays. Done. I will show the results. So you saw that chest change. Go in. View save filter. Pull-through bay sites. Another one done. Okay, let's move away from accommodation and look at some other options. So firstly, I will reset filters. And what I'm going to do now is look at some rest and refuel locations. So I'm going to turn off campgrounds, accommodation options. There we go. Filter 7, reset filters, things to see or do. Again, turn off accommodation options. Point of interest, I want information centres, always good. Again, building on an existing one, so things to see or do as we just created. I will now go in and add that it is pet friendly. Remember, Birdsville before had over a dozen sites on there. Now it's down to 4. So that's good. All right. Let's say we want to create a filter that allows us to keep our kids or grandkids entertained and safe. So we'll go into filters. What we'll look for is campgrounds or caravan parks, points of interest or experiences. And we want these sites to have a playground and a TV games room. Remember, these are and. We also want to make sure that it has good TV reception and Telstra reception. Equally, we want to exclude sites where there are crocodiles and exclude sites that are for those 50 and older. Okay, so that's relatively limited. They're mostly caravan parks. You'll notice there is this one site over here. Now this is the Narry Warren Library, so let's just have a look to see why it's come up. And you'll see that it does have a TV games room, it does have a playground, it does have Telstra reception, and it does have good TV reception, so it does meet all of our criteria. So that's fair enough that that would appear. And now we'll save that filter. Kid friendly. Done. All right, this next one is one of my favourites. What we'll be looking for is free and donation campsites where tents are allowed. You're allowed to have open fireplaces and there is swimming available. So I'm looking under fee category here for free and donation. Under the site types, I will deselect all but campgrounds. It still frustrates me you have to deselect rather than select. Under access, I'm going to say tents allowed, done. Under activities and location, I'm going to say swimming. Under amenities, I'm going to say open fire pits. Now I'm going to save that as, and there it is. All right, this next filter I mentioned in the introduction, it's probably my favourite and hopefully it'll be a number of your favourites too. What I would like to have a save filter for is pub stays. So I'm going to go in, look for free and donation campgrounds only, so deselect everything else. And then I go into amenities and I scroll down to pub hotel, done. Show results. And you'll see on this map of mostly New South Wales and southern Queensland, a little bit of South Australia, we've got 95 sites in the map area. If I was to further filter this by looking for sites that only have toilets and showers as well, show results, you'll see that now that there's 33 sites. So I'm going to deselect that last change. I don't need toilets or showers. Show results. Got my 95 there. Go back in, scroll down. Alright, so that was save filter number 10. Now save filter number 11 for the fishermen and women. I'm going to select free or donation sites. I'm not going to change the site type at all. Then under activities and location, I'm going to have fishing and boat ramp nearby. Done. Let's show results. So you'll see there's a lot of results on here, including campsites. We've got day use areas, etc. We've got points of interest, and you'll see if we go in here that there is fishing and there is boat ramp nearby. Cool. So let's save that one. Alright, so let's have a look at the save filters. Remember, the first one we saved was my favourites, so there are 12 filters here. I told you 11 filters, but one of those things to see and do I created as 2. So there's things to see and do and things to see and do with a pet, so that was just an extension. So there's 11 save filters on here for you to just duplicate and save, and you should be able to turn these into any filter that you find most useful. Alright, that's it for this episode. Hopefully you got something out of that with the 7 tips and the 11 save filters that we went through together. And lastly, if you've got any other queries about the best use of WikiCamps, or any thoughts about videos that you'd like to see, or any other planning software that might be useful to campers and caravanners or RVers, please just leave me a comment below and I'll see what I can do. Thanks. Until next time, don't forget to like and subscribe, and hope to see you then. See ya.
I'm not heading for the stars.